What does it take to flip a congressional seat in Indiana? What does it take to hold one? Or maybe most importantly, who are the people willing to step up and fight for Hoosier families in Washington? This is Turn Left, Running for Congress 2026. We're sitting down with the Indiana Democratic candidates running for Congress in the 2026 primary. This is your chance to hear directly from the people who want to represent you, not just their talking points, but their stories, their values, and their vision for Indiana's future. Indiana's own Dana Black, welcome. This is Turned Left, Running for Congress 2026. And yes, I have another fantastic Democratic candidate who is running in the primary that you should get to know. He is running in District 6. Now look, that's a district we should be able to win because we know the incumbent is sus. All right? Y'all give it up for my guest running in District 6, David Boyd. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I love it. So the first question I always ask, tell the people who you are and where you come from.
All right. I'm David Boyd. I'm running for Congress to represent the 6th District of Indiana. I grew up in Texas. My father was in the military, so he retired out there. I received my education there, and then I moved to Indiana after high school. I've enjoyed working here. I've worked for the federal government as a federal officer, and then also with the Census Bureau as well. And then I went off to start working with the insurance industry. So I'm a catastrophe insurance adjuster where I take care of customers that have been affected by catastrophes that take place in America. I've been involved with politics and interested in politics for a long time, just waiting to see what would be the right fit for me. And I was very interested in trying to help out our district to make life better for Americans here and Americans everywhere. So I decided to run for Congress.
So, okay, I'm going to back this all the way up. What was it like growing up in Texas for you, and how do you see the similarities between Indiana and Texas?
One word, hot. One of the reasons I moved, I love to see snow. So whenever it snows, I'm always looking outside. So it was hot there. But I think the similarities are the people are mission driven and how they go about their lives and trying to find ways to make things better. It's that can-do attitude. And that's one thing Hoosiers have. That's one of the things I love about how we interact with each other when we're trying to find solutions for the problems that we face.
I love it. And you said your dad was in the military?
He was in the Army, correct, and he retired.
Love that. And so was he a heavy disciplinarian? And then did that shape how you see the world?
Yeah, it did. He wasn't a heavy disciplinarian at all. He was just serious. So I learned how to interact with individuals and to keep a military bearing when I'm under pressure. So that definitely helped me out. Just living in a military community, most of the kids, their parents are in the military there. So a lot of like-mindedness when it came to working together and accomplishing missions. So the discipline has definitely helped me out.
I love it. And so, you said you worked in the federal government. Did you see some things that kind of like, listen, this ain't that? And did that kind of like shape how you saw politics?
No, well, when I was in politics, in the federal government, the leaders were a bit different than the leaders that we have now.
Yeah.
So it was more just going to work, accomplishing your job, and then going home. Mm-hmm. So you felt like you were giving back to the country at that point, and you were also being recognized for the work that you were doing. Right now, I can't imagine what it's like to be in the government with jobs being cut. And then a lot of oversight as far as trying to see if people are messing up along the way while they're just trying to do their job. It has to be stressful. But my goal is to make the federal government a more positive place to work and to try to vouch for people that are working in the federal government and try to make their lives a little bit better.
So I imagine when that Doge nonsense was going on at the beginning of last year, that really kind of, like, what the heck?
Yeah, it was unfortunate to see cuts to agencies that I have so much respect for, and then also to see agencies almost like turned inside out to in somewhat of a way to change the mission of the agency. So I worked in Homeland Security, so I saw how Customs and Border Protection did their jobs during that time, and I see how they do their jobs now. Same thing with ICE. I can see the differences. And it is very discouraging. And I'm hoping that we can kind of turn America around to make things more positive so that we're not seeing the negative things that we're seeing on the streets now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because we just witnessed where a man who was a naturalized citizen was literally dragged out of his home in the winter with no clothes on. The lack of humanity
Yeah.
is something that seems to be missing. Is that how you kind of internalize it?
Absolutely. We're people first. And I realized that early on. If individuals are here and they came here illegally, I do believe in the process to deport individuals that are here if they're here illegally. But there has to be a process to do that. And you can't do that by just dragging people out of their homes, out of their cars. It has to be an orderly fashion. They have to be treated with respect and also have a chance to take a look at their circumstances. While they've been here, have they been contributing to America? And maybe there is a path to allow them to become United States citizens, but to just all grab and throw out is just wrong, in my opinion.
I love that. So one of the things about District 6, it's a tough district. You know, as you're getting out into the community and you are talking to people, what are you hearing from the constituents in District 6 that maybe helping you frame and shape your platform?
That's a good question. It's honestly the way it looks is a lot of individuals out in District 6 want us to work together. They want their Congress people to be able to talk to each other and make decisions that will benefit them. And I'm hearing a lot of things about ICE, the things they're seeing with ICE on the road, a lot of things that their finances are in shambles because they can't pay their bills, whether it's rent, utilities, car loans, everything is expensive at this point, and people are tired of the distractions that they're seeing on TV. They want to know that somebody's fighting for them in Washington, D.C., and they're looking for that candidate who is going to fight for me at this point. My goal has always been to bring bipartisanship to Congress. That is my number one platform to begin with. I think that when we are unable to speak to each other, when we demonize each other and we can't listen to each other while we're having conversations, the American people are left behind. Mm-hmm. And I also see that our congressmen are also negotiating in bad faith. They will talk to each other in private and say what they're going to do, and then in public do something else. So there has to be an individual in the room that's able to connect with each other and say, no matter what happens, I'm still open to negotiation. I'm still open to talking and listening and making a change if necessary. But we have to be able to work together. And that is my goal if I get a chance to go to Washington, D.C.
Wow, that was a mouthful right there, because yes, there are people who are negotiating in bad faith. One of the things that I struggle with, I definitely understand the need to work across the aisle because it's about coalition and consensus building. But when you see Congress folk and legislators writing policies or introducing legislation, which this particular Congress ain't done a whole bunch of nothing, but when you see them writing policies that deny access for communities, how will you try to negotiate that? Like that's why I can't run, because I know you can't negotiate away my rights, right? So Absolutely. How do you plan on navigating that?
I plan on just keeping the door open. I'm one of those individuals. It's no matter how tough things can get, I believe there is a way forward. So just being that listening ear, if all else fails and all Democrats say, hey, we're not even gonna entertain anything, my ear is open to see where's your mind at. Where can we reach common ground on some of these issues? And some issues you're not going to be able to vote with. I mean, they're just totally against what the Democratic Party stands for. You're not going to be able to move to that side if it's just a total deal breaker. But my goal is to just keep that door open for individuals so that conversation can spark, because that helps out. We saw it here in Indiana with the whole redistricting issue, to see some of the Senate Republicans join Democrats in voting against the redistricting. Although that's not immediate bipartisanship, somebody was in their ear, and it was Democrats and some other Republicans. So still talking to each other so that we can hear what each other's thoughts are on things is very important, because that influence may not be strong while you're talking to the individual, but when you leave and you have your private time, you may be thinking about what the individual said, and that may spark something in your mind, say, maybe I need to think about this another way and try to find a resolution.
I think that is an admirable position to hold, because A lot of folks say they want to represent everybody in their district, but then they get elected, and that's not what ends up happening. They only are supported by they only support those that supported them, and that's what we're seeing with this current administration. So when you think about the issues that are important to not just your district, but the country as a whole, talk about your platform. What are the issues that are at the top of your list that you want to have an impact on?
Yes, the issues, immigration, obviously, we need to change the way that we go about immigration enforcement. All we need to do is turn the television on and we can see exactly what's going on there. Social Security, I'm concerned about our older Americans that are getting older and they're continuing to work as they age. I don't think that's right. I believe that fund should be there to compensate and help those individuals pay their bills as they get older. I don't want to see that go away. I also am concerned about healthcare, obviously, with the one big beautiful bill totally dismantled a lot of health insurance for Americans, and then it also increased those premiums for those individuals on the Affordable Care Act. That's very important that we find a way to make the Affordable Care Act better. In my opinion, I feel like that's the strongest vehicle that we have that we can fine tune and make better to make healthcare more affordable for Americans. And ultimately, I would love to see free healthcare for all Americans, like other countries, so that we can go and get our healthcare and come home and be fine. I don't think we should be penalized for being sick because a lot of things that we deal with in the environment affect our health and mental health as well. We shouldn't have to pay for those things. I believe that that should be something that's taken care of as a cohesive body, as a country, so that we're all healthier. Some of the other issues for me are housing. We don't have enough affordable housing in America, and then also our economy. We see that it's taking dips up and down, up and down. I think that we need to bolster our economy. So there's a number of issues that I'm concerned about. I'm committing to working across the aisle to fix in Congress, and all that information is outlined as well on my website. I believe I have 11 platforms that I'm running on, and if I am able to come up with any additional solutions in the future on other topics, I will definitely discuss those with individuals and put those out there as well.
So that's a big platform, 11 different issues. And I love that you are looking broadly and across the spectrum. Have you been talking to other legislators about what they're seeing and maybe how you can help them? Or I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, so this is more of this is a federal campaign. So I keep my eye on what the federal government is doing. I'm just now starting out to run, so I haven't had many conversations with a lot of individuals that are actually in Congress. But I am in the process of trying to reach out to some of those individuals that are also running too, to kind of get an idea of what their headspace is and how they're going about trying to solve some of these issues in America as well.
I love that. And so, is this your first political campaign?
Yes, it is. Yes,
wow.
It is.
It takes guts. I ain't gonna lie, bruh. It takes guts for your first campaign to be a congressional race. Well, give us an idea of your mindset. When you were looking at the political climate, you saw that immigration was an issue and healthcare and all these things. Congress, what made you say that is the spot that I need to go to?
Well, I've always cared about America. I'm not sure if it's, growing up in the military community, all the patriotic songs you hear when you go to the events and all that. But as I've gone older, I've ended up finding out that I appreciate America more than I thought. And as an adjuster, I travel the country and I've seen so many things in Washington, D.C., around the country, where they reflect our country and they talk about the values that are in America. And I'm so committed to making our country a better place. I feel like I had to do something. I was able to go to some of the capitals in the New England area. And I know when you walk in, they have a lot of flags, and they're flags from the beginning wars and how they fought on the side to ban slavery. And that is something that these states are very happy to share with other individuals, that we were on the right side of history. We want to make America a better place. And those are one of the things that stood with me. So I believe that we should stand up as Americans at the forefront and stand up for our country and do everything we can to make our country a better place, because this is all we have. Our democracy is all we have. America is all we have. We don't know anything else. And I believe that we need to preserve it for the generations to come. And I believe we should make it better for individuals now, because, I have 2 children. I want them to have a country to live in that's safe, breathable air, a strong democracy, and that they have a future that they can look forward to as well. So America means a lot to me, and I want to make this country a better place as best I can.
I love that. I love that answer, because I feel exactly the same way. And the fact that you leaned in on, how going to these state capitol buildings reflected the history and the trajectory of freedom, especially for us Black folk. There are times where we as Black people, we see, right, the harms that have done into different communities. And it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like you want to say, hey, okay, we recognize the bad, but let's be a force for good. Is that kind of like how you're saying this?
Yes. I think we have enough highlights on the bad. I think at this point we know exactly what we need to fix in America, but we also need to find the way to fix it. And I feel like now is the time to fix it. My campaign is about strengthening America, strengthen bipartisanship, strengthen democracy, and strengthen America. And that's something that we have to do at this point if we want to have a country that we can live in and thrive in going forward. It's time for Americans to stand up and do the right thing by running for office if they feel like that's important for them, and treating our neighbors better and looking out for other Americans. It's time to work together. And I see there's a lot of individuals answering that call in politics.
I love it. Yeah, there's a lot of y'all running for Congress, and I love it. And that's why we're doing these shorts here on Turn Left, because I wanted to, we need all the different voices. And I think with you running in District 6, are you in Hancock County?
I'm in Franklin Township. I'm in Marion County. So
that's right, because they got the south side of Indianapolis in District 6 now. I forgot about that. Yeah. So when you're going out, the needs of Marion County are slightly different than the rest of District 6. How do you plan to navigate the needs of a rural section of District 6 with the urban section of District 6?
Yeah, so what I do is I go out to these Democratic Club meetings and I learn about the issues from the individuals that are living there. In the rural area, you have more concerns about infrastructure, making sure funding for their school corporations are in place. Whereas Marion County, we have different issues, more of a metropolitan area. So as you go down, so my district covers the lower portion of Marion County, Johnson County, part of Bartholomew, and then as you go out west all the way up to Randolph County. So a lot of rural that is inside the district, and then you have our lower metropolitan area as well. So it's really listening to the individuals there and then finding out how can you help them in Washington, D.C. And I know one of the biggest things that you can do as a congressman is to make sure that you can provide funding for your area, that you're advocating for those funds to make your district a better place to live, to make sure they have the money for the infrastructure projects, and however other ways that you can benefit your district. So it's really listening to the individuals at this point.
I love that, because the main role of Congress, they're the purse. They have they control the purse, and bringing funding back to Indiana is key. I think a lot of people missed the boat in understanding when Mayor Pete was in the transportation department. You see all this construction going on, it's because they brought that money back home, right? A lot of people don't understand. Yes, the construction on 65 drives me nuts, but we need those infrastructure upgrades. And I find it interesting that you're hearing that in rural Indiana. One of the other things that I've been hearing, and I'm curious to your thoughts on, China is no longer buying soybeans from Indiana. And I'm certain that you have quite a few farmers in your district that at one point maybe had contracts with some of our trading partners from overseas. How are you, with the nonsense of these tariffs, how can you help, or what's some ideas that you have to maybe help some of our farmers who are literally possibly going to lose their farms because they are no longer able to sell to some of our former trading partners because of these tariffs?
Yeah, I think one of the things is establishing relationships with some of these other Congress people and senators as well, and explain to them exactly what's going on in Indiana and how it's hurting our farmers out here. I think that's when that bipartisan pitch comes in as well, to be able to, hey, I want to be consistent. I want to continue to talk this out so that we can find relief for these other individuals. I think it also comes down to speaking with individuals at the Department of Agriculture to see are there any other programs that we can that farmers can access to receive funds to help their farms. I think it's really working along across the aisle with other individuals to try to, I guess the best way to say it, just kind of break things down so that you can start talking, because where we are now, individuals are not really working together as they should. And I also think that one of the ways that we can do a better job is as our congressional delegation having a better relationship between Democrats and Republicans, so that when we go forward before individuals that can make these decisions, say, hey, we as a bloc in Indiana, we need to take care of our farmers, and this is what we need to do in a bipartisan way, because our farmers are struggling. But I think if they know all their representatives, both of their senators are all in for, hey, let's make sure we have the money for the state, even though we have our differences on other issues. We want to petition the president and make sure that we have what we need and go before Congress and our leaders in the Senate and House and say, hey, this bill needs to go to the floor, and keep doing what we can to produce results for Indiana's farmers.
I love your positive energy. But I gotta ask, like, you do recognize, like, some of them people,
Yeah.
you're not, I love the sweetness of it, but you also are not like, look, there's just some maggots that I just ain't gonna be able to get through. You're comfortable understanding, like, I'm gonna put the olive branch out there and see what happens, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody, like I said, everybody should get a chance. I am not naive. I know exactly what type of political climate we're in now, but I'm thinking not only now, but beyond. So when we have a new president, what is the environment going to be like? Are we going to be just starting to work together? Or will we have that already in place so that we can have a bridge to kind of fly off of and towards success? So
I love
I
that.
do understand there are some stone cold individuals that are not going to hear you and listen to you. But my goal is to at least have an open ear and keep that door open no matter what.
So, when you're in Congress, when you're in DC, there's a lot that you have to deal with when it comes to international politics and how we move around the world. Right now, we're dropping bombs on boats in the Caribbean. We've ousted the Venezuelan government, or not the government, just the person that was in charge and left the government in place. We're talking about annexing Greenland. What are your thoughts on a lot of the geopolitical, what's going on in the world and America's role in a lot of these things that are happening?
Uh, America, we have to continue to be leaders. In the past, we were a country of peace. It appeared that way, and now countries are not sure that we're doing the right thing, or we have our best interests at heart, or the interests of other countries at heart. I think us going to get Maduro out of Venezuela, that was amazingly, I don't think that was a good idea. I think that we should have worked other channels to get him here if they were going to charge him with crimes. We literally took a leader from another country, and now we have a president tweeting that he is the acting president of Venezuela. I can't imagine how the Venezuelans feel at this point. I think that's very cruel to be bombing individuals that we may not be sure are bringing drugs over here, blowing up boats. Drugs are bad, don't get me wrong, but to blow up a boat of individuals that are transporting those, I just don't see the justification from what I'm seeing and hearing on the news and what I'm reading. And I think that we as America has to be focused on what we're doing here to help our citizens, because we're dealing with a lot of issues in America. But I think what we're doing abroad is it's a bad look for the United States. I'm concerned how we're going to look in the future and for the next leader that takes over after our president is gone, what they're going to have to deal with and try to clean up after the fact.
And I feel that because our nation's power and being a leader in the global world was being key members of NATO and creating that alliance. And now we have an administration that is actively trying to destroy that. When you think about your role in Congress, how will you work to restore that faith in the United States that has been critically injured during this current administration and restoring faith? And I mean, because France ran a whole dummy thing with Ukraine to see who was leaking stuff to Russia. I mean, it's really bad. So when you think about, your role in Congress, and yeah, you'll be a junior congressman, but when you think about how we need to restore the faith in America across the globe, how do you see that?
I think it starts with the individual. Respect, kindness, generosity, listening. It starts with those congressmen that interact with these international individuals from other countries to see, hey, can we trust America? Are there still some good people out there? Are there still individuals that can listen and are willing to do the right thing? Can we trust America? So I think, number one, our values as representatives and leaders for America has to be in check. People have to be able to trust us. And then we have to make sure that we're all on one accord. Do we want to continue to help the other countries around the world? And I believe that's a yes. But when there's silence during times like these, it causes world leaders to question, where is America on these topics? So it's important that we listen, that we present ourselves as trustworthy individuals across America, how we interact with other individuals, and then also speaking as a block and saying, hey, this is how we feel we should move forward on different issues regarding foreign policy, and then moving forward from there. There's only but so much congressmen and senators can do because if our leader is saying something is contrary to what most of us feel, that's what the world leaders are going to go off of. Because, of course, we can make policy and make legislation, but it's up to the president to sign that legislation. So Congress people can have a vocal voice. They can speak up. I think that's important for them to do.
I love that. And one of the things that was driving me nuts was, 1 minute we are throwing tear gas here in America on protesters, but 40 whatever, the Orange Menace is what I call him. He literally was saying, hey, Iran, continue to protest, help is coming. I think the contradiction, I don't think that the world is not seeing the contradiction. People are not stupid. And the fact that there's leaders in our country who think humans are just damn stupid is driving me crazy. So one of the other things about Congress is like they have one of the lowest ratings as far as, getting stuff done amongst Americans. When you are elected, talk about how you will restore the integrity from your position as a junior congressman, integrity back to a body that has lost all respect with the U.S. citizens.
Okay, a couple points there. Number one, I think that the whole trading issue with Congress people, I believe that should be banned from trading. I believe it's a bad look.
Stocks, yes.
Stocks. I apologize. Stocks. I believe it's a bad look, and Americans don't trust what they're seeing there. I think that needs to be eliminated. And then, what's most important, I think Congress people need to get back to work. I see a lot of congressmen and women outside doing interviews and all that. But my goal, if I were to go to Congress, is to be inside that Capitol writing legislation. What can we do to make the American lives better in America, the 6th District in America? I believe that's the whole point of being there, to make laws so you can get them passed and we can live with good policies to make our lives better. So getting back to work, I think that's most important. I think a lot of individuals see congressmen battling with each other on the news. I think people see them showing up to their districts here and there, but the American people don't really feel like they're fighting for us, and they're looking for individuals to fight for them. And when I say fight for them, hey, you're a congressman, your job is to make laws and be a representative for me, represent for me, advocate for me, make laws that'll make my life better. So that's what I plan to do.
I feel like people have forgotten that, right? They go in there, they pass legislation that pads their bottom line. They get that insider trading stuff going on. You are so right. I'm glad that you pointed those two specific things out. So, all right, you are in the thick of a primary. Do you have any events that are coming up that people can be aware of that they can find?
I know right now I will be speaking at the Franklin Township Democratic Party meeting. I believe that's on February 7th at 6:30 p.m. in
Okay.
Franklin Township. I believe it's at the Civic League. I would have to find the address for that one. And right now I'm just more speaking with individuals door to door. I was just around Randolph County not too many days ago, speaking with their group out there as well. But making my way throughout the district. There are 11 counties here. It is a very large district. The larger areas are, of course, Southern Marion County, Greenwood, Beech Grove, and then you go out to Randolph County, Bartholomew. There's a lot of cities in between that I have to get to that are rural areas, but I will have that information out on my social media. I plan to post whenever I'm going to be somewhere. If individuals do want to show up and tell me about how they're feeling in America, and shake their hand and see how I can help them in Washington if I were elected.
All right. So we go ahead and give that final parting shot, because you want to get supporters, you want to get donors, you want to get volunteers. Give us that pitch to get us on board with your campaign.
All right. So, like I said, I'm David Boyd. I'm running for Congress to represent the 6th District of Indiana. It is my goal to earn the vote of as many Hoosiers as possible. That is Republicans and Democrats. I want to fight for all Americans. I want to make America a better place to live for each and every one of us. I want to strengthen bipartisanship. I want to strengthen our democracy, which is flailing right now. And I want to also make sure that affordability is something that we can all achieve as Americans, so that when we go to the pump, when we go to a grocery store, and we pay our bills, there is money left over. So I want to fight for you. Hopefully you will vote for me. And you can visit my website, davidlboyd.com, to learn more about my campaign.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining me on Turn Left, running for Congress. David L. Boyd, running for the Congressional District 6. I don't like the dude that's there. And so if we can, get him out of there. Guys, thank you so much, David. I really appreciate you joining me. Okay,
Thank you.
before I let y'all go, listen, one thing is for certain. He didn't do it, so I'm going to do it. If you like what he's talking about, he is going to need money. If you like his campaign, if you like his message, because he's so cool. He was like the super cool guy. Like I ain't cool. I'm just hype on a regular basis. So it's nice to have that person that can sit back and articulate exactly what they're saying and what they need. But you got to donate to him if you believe in him. So click on his Act Blue link and donate to his campaign if you believe in what he's saying, if you believe in how he wants to represent Indiana in the 6th District. So I'm always going to advocate for fundraising, because as much as we love to talk about grassroots organizing, he's still going to need some money. So if you believe in him, you got to help him. So donate to his campaign. All right, guys, that's the end of the show today. I will holler at y'all next time. Peace. Turn Left is the property of Black Pearl IT Solutions, executive producer Indiana's own Dana Black. Music by Dorian and 22 from Pixabay.